Now, you're a growth advisor, an exit planning wealth advisor, and you want to increase your reach and relevance with business owning clients, right? So let's talk about how Growth Drive's precision system will help you in just one or two meetings win new engagements, really get your client's attention and expand the reach and impact you can have with this client. So you've seen this before. This is the Growth Drive process, creating CEO clarity, expanding that to team clarity, strategic planning, and on through execution. Now, what we've done is we have layered in and listed for you the meetings that you will lead, you can lead in order to win an engagement and then go on and deliver individual projects. So if you want to do it this way, you can do one of two things. You can get your client to sign off on the whole 9 yards right away. Great. If you can do that, great. Or if you want to de-risk it, you can approach these as projects. Each of these meetings, think of them as a project for which you should be billing. Now let's break these down step by step. The Growth Drive process starts with the growth conversation and with really digging deep with our client about what they need to do to get the success they want. And we define success in terms of their personal lives. Where does this business need to take you? What does it need to deliver for your family? And we'll talk about that in detail in C3D. Now, for this conversation, you use Clarity Level 1. It's 24 questions, but very, very powerful software. And we're going to define the win and then help our client, educate our client about the business's capacity to deliver that win, to deliver against their intent. So in meeting 1, discovery. We use Clarity Level 1, the Value Planner module, the Protect Value module maybe, and the Range of Values report. Hey, here's what your business could be worth. Here's what it's worth today. Here's the delta between the two, the value gap, which translates into a wealth gap. So we're going to have the discovery meeting. And then as part of that meeting or as a follow-on, we're going to sit down and we're going to report to the CEO, to the business owner. We're going to discuss the report with them, educate them further, and then plan next steps. Now, if you're an exit planning wealth advisor listening to this, you might be saying, oof, well, that's about as far as I want to grow. Terrific. This is where you can either hand the reins over to the client and say, here's a, and we'll talk about how to do that. But you can hand the reins over to the client using Clarity, using tools like 90, or you can bring in a growth advisor. Now, if you're a growth advisor, let's highlight an opportunity here. You are going to have the value planning and protect value reports in your hand, and you would be able to sit down with the wealth advisor and say, hey, here is some very, very important and valuable intel for you about this client, whether it's a current client or prospective client. So a great entree for collaboration. Okay. And we've sat with the CEO. Now we might be saying to the CEO, hey, this is how you see the business. I wonder how your senior team sees it, because in our experience, the data shows that there is essentially never alignment. There is always misalignment at some level between how your team sees the business operating. And do you think that would be valuable intelligence for you? Yes, I do. Well, I can do this we can do this for you. So you can run Clarity on an anonymized basis with the senior leadership team, right? It's as easy as sending them a URL, as sophisticated as sitting down and interviewing them. But let's just say you've sent them the URL and you're able to generate the report. Then you're going to sit down and share this report with the CEO and discuss your findings. Now, that often leads to a senior leadership team alignment workshop. All right, these are terrific projects. Even going this far, imagine what your client now knows. They now know their business's strategic capacity. Well, they know where they want to go, their business's strategic capacity currently, how their team sees their operational strength, their strategic capacity, and they're getting a better perspective of how an outsider might view the business, right? So we're kind of peeling the scales off their eyes. This is tremendously impactful work. What's next? Deep analysis, Clarity Level 2. So this is, here's opportunity for a meeting. Now, whether you're doing with the CEO and with the senior leadership team, it's case appropriate. We're then going to, so the deep analysis, we use Clarity Level 2 in the software, and then we circle back, and in a follow-on meeting, we report our findings. You do not want your client to think that you're just pushing a button and generating all this magic. That's part of it, but you're bringing a tremendous amount of experience and expertise to the table, right? So let's sit down, think it through, create a report, meet with the CEO and discuss that report. Another very, very valuable meeting. We might then take that report and discuss it with the senior leadership team and discuss our findings. Guys, now we're 7 meetings in, potentially 6, 7 meetings in to our engagement. Now think of these can be in a string or they can be individual projects. And you can just take bites of the apple. Hey, do you think we should discuss this with your team? Now we need to take the data you have generated in the deep analysis. That is the data that fuels a strategy. So what is the next meeting that can happen? You can do a half-day or full-day strategic planning retreat with the CEO and with the senior leadership team as appropriate, right? That's client dependent, it's case dependent. Once we've done that strategic planning retreat, you're able to go off and draft a plan. Now, whether you're collaborating with the CEO and the senior leadership team to draft the plan or putting the first draft together yourself, case dependent, again, up to you, what you want to do with your advisory practice. Now, we review that plan and we can workshop potential issues in the plan. And in C3D, again, we talk about how do you make sure that this client, we have a methodology and process that says, okay, start with effective senior leadership, then move to people productive and loyal, then move to recurring revenue. But that may not be appropriate for this client. We have a workshop that we teach that you can run to make sure that we're keeping the strategic plan within the realm of the possible for this client. Okay, cool. Sorry for the aside. We teach all of this, by the way, in the facilitation course. And you'll learn about it in C3. Now we have the final plan. We're going to sit down. We're going to confirm the plan. We're going to walk through it step by step with the CEO and the senior leadership team as appropriate. Again, now imagine now they have a plan in which you have a very importantly transparency and ideally team buy-in, right? They've been heard, they have contributed to the plan, and now the plan is theirs, not yours. Now we're going to take the plan out on the track and do some laps, okay? As a guy who grew up deeply steeped in F1, taking the plan out on the track is where the fun begins, right? Okay, our next meeting might be a half-day company-wide strategy unveiling. Very important, transparency, letting everybody know where we're going and how we're going to get there in broad strokes. The next meeting, a 1 to 2 full day, and this is in my book, right? A 1 to 2 full day strategy kickoff meeting that you're going to facilitate as co-driver, as co-pilot with the CEO and the senior leadership team, right? And always with the senior leadership team. Now, there are a series of ongoing meetings, and that's where the execution leadership business operating system, growth drives business operating system, comes to play. So we have the agendas, scripts for annual, quarterly, monthly, weekly meetings, daily huddles. Why are these important? You're going to be deploying the growth drive, analyze, design, execute action cycle. You see 3Ds out there, know what I'm talking about, right? We always analyze, then we plan, then we execute the plan, and we go back and say, all right, what did we fix and what did we break? Because you may break things as you grow, you will break things as you grow the business. Let's go back and shore them up. Always looking back at dimension 1 to make sure that predictable profits and cash flow is ironclad. And then you have collaboration with the advisory team to deliver clients' intent. And so let's just take, I'm going to use whether you're an exit planning wealth advisor, or much more appropriately a growth advisor, and that line is getting blurred for some of you. You need to collaborate with an advisory team. Who's going to need to be? We have specialized accounting, we have legal, we have investment banking, fractional CFO, and then you may have other subject matter experts on marketing, sales, lean manufacturing, and on and on. We need to collaborate, and your role is to coordinate and to collaborate with transparency so your client always knows what's going on. And importantly, if you think back to the advisor's pledge, so that the rest of the team understands. Now, imagine you're a growth advisor and you've been brought in to collaborate on this case by a wealth advisor. This collaboration, this transparency is critically important. Make sure that everyone knows what's going on at all times. And that's the power and strength of having a methodology and a process. You can hand this sheet across the table to a wealth advisor and say, here's what I'm going to do. In rough form, this may change a little bit, but generally speaking, here's the plan. Here's the tempo. Here's how this is going to play out. And I anticipate that this, guys, look at this. These meetings can play out over just a few months. Now imagine the impact you will have had on your client. And I'm going to make one more point. This is not, unlike other systems, a franchise. You don't have to do all these things. You can go as deep as you want and then hand it over to your client or bring in another advisor. How does this get in line with your advisory business? Are you a 1 or a 5, right? Do you want to talk about this stuff? Do you want to educate the client about strategic capacity, business value, how to grow their business? Do you want to be the architect designing? Okay, so here we are out at meeting 8, designing the plan to take the business from where it is today to where it needs to be to deliver your client's intent. And are you the general contractor who is going to take that plan and turn it into reality? And we talk at length in C3D about not becoming a subject matter expertise, resisting getting pulled in there. But listen, if you're a 2, a 3, a 4, an educator, an architect, a general contractor, this is a fantastic system. So in just 1 or 2 meetings, you will have sown the seeds for a long-term, very, very valuable engagement. And by the way, your client, and this is calculated and presented in the Clarity software, we are going to share with the client the return on investment that they're going to see from each of these projects, okay? From increasing strategic capacity, thereby increasing the value of their business. And the client is going to get 10x, 20x, 30x ROI on their work with you, and you can report on that and track it every step of the way. Sound good? Yeah, it does. This powerful system is being used by really high-end, seasoned, sophisticated advisors. We are thrilled that we are attracting you guys into the community. Growth Drive. You can find more at growth-drive.com. Email us, sales@growthdrive.com. And if you hit this QR code, it'll take you straight to our homepage, and there is a ton of information there. Okay? Thank you very much. You've got questions, we're here and committed to your success. We'll talk soon.